For Genesis 32, we have Shani and Shalishi in the margin. For verse 21, we have Qamts, Bazik. And for verse 23, Sabirin Hahwa. And early in the morning, Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters and blessed them. And Laban departed and returned unto his place. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. Now, okay, so divinity here. Isn't there a version of this that's older that actually lists 3 angels? And it's the same ones you typically see listed, Gabriel and Michael, and is it Raphael? Or is it Uriel? I think it's Raphael that's, anyways. And when Jacob saw them, he said, "This is God's host." And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And we have the Haftarah listing here, Hosea 11, verse 7 through 12, verse 12. And some read from 12, verse 13 to 14, verse 10. And Wishach starts with verse 4, but let's look up real quick what Machnim means. It's camps, multiple groups of tents, multiple courts, multiple groups of animals. Are stars or angels or any bugs or anything significant, but it has to be a force of nature, sort of. But they're all forces of nature. But like a flock of locusts. Over there is another flock of locusts. They use that term. And Jacob sent messengers before Esau, his brother, into the land of Seir, the country of Edom, and he commanded them, saying, "Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. Thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and donkeys, flocks and men servants and women servants, and I have sent to tell my lord that I may find grace in thy sight." So it was a place where there are many groups of flocks, right? And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, "We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him." Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that were with him, and the flocks, and the herds, and the camels, into 2 hands. And he said, "If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape." And Jacob said, "O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, of the lineage," but we're getting the impression of it's something different than that, a spiritual father thing. God is a noun and verb, which saidst unto me, "Return unto my country, and unto thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies, and of all the truth which thou hast showed unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become 2 bands, Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children. And thou saidst, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their colts, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-donkeys and 10 foals. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commandeth the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, Whose art thou, and whither goest thou, and whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, They be thy servant Jacob's, and it is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the droves, saying, On this manner ye shall speak unto Esau when ye find him. And say moreover, Behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us, for he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face, peradventure he will accept me. And so went the present over before him, and he himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night, and took his 2 wives, and his 2 women servants, and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. We'll find out how that's pronounced later, right? And he took them, and sent them over the brook, and sent over what he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him, until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him, and he said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. And he passed over Penuel, the sun. As he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh, and the sinew that shrank. It turns out this was not, because see, it's not listed as actually commanded. It's saying this is just, it became a custom. But you can tell, the Israelites that became Muslim, they keep this rule as a rule. Like, in the northern Semitic area and over in Afghanistan, around Afghanistan, I guess it's not just entirely in Afghanistan, there's an area where it appears that people have pretty solid ancient Israelite blood, but you're talking people who were 70 to 95% Muslim of those tribes. And Yashar all is right, pleasant, prosperous, fit, direct, good, please, bring, look, make, straight, upright, just, equitable, meet, equal treatment, convenient, well pleased, striving for God. Now, aside from face of Panu or Pani all is pinnacle, chief, bulwark, stay, tower, pass away, prepare, regard, respect, turn, aside, away, back, face, self, appear, behold, cast out, come, dawning, empty, go away, lie, look. Lest, angle, so it's not quite the same thing as this is like an incarnation or something like that. So, because, if you're going to follow the same linguistic tricks that some of the Christians are going to use, you're going to run into a lot of stuff you have to explain. But then again, if you understand the actual language, but something belonging to God, see, Daniel, any A-L, any Y-H term. Yishkum Leben Bumker, Winshuk Lebnew, Wol Benutiu, Webrak Ata M Wieluk Wishab Leben Lemkamu, Weakab Chilk Leruku Weep Gau, Bu Malaki Alhim, We Amr Yakub, Kasher Ram, Muchna Alhim, Zah, Wikra Shum, Hamkum, Hehwa, Mechnim, Wishlech, Yakub, Malakim, Lepnu, Al Ashu, Achiu, Artsa, Sha'ir, Shada, Adum, Witsu, Atum, Lamer, Ka, Tamrun, Ladni, Lashu, Ka, Amr, Abduk, Yakub, Laban, Gerti, Watcher, Ad, Ta, Wehi Li Shur, which more San Wabad, which Pachit, Wash Licha, Lahgid, Ladni, Lamtsa, Chun Bayin Yak, Wishbu, Hum Lakim, Al Yaqub, Lamer, Banu, Al Achik, Al Ashu, Wagam, Helak, Lakratuk, Warba, Mount Aish, Amu, Wira, Yaqub, Mad, Witzer, Lu, Witchits, At, Ham, Asher, Atu, Wat, Hatsan, Wat, Humker, Wat, Gumlim, Lashni, Muchnut, We Amr, Bwa, Ashu, Al, Hamchana, Hatut, Wa, Kahu, Wahya Hamchana Hanshar Leb Nitha We Amr Yaqub Alhi Abi Abraham Walhi Abi Yitzchak Yahweh Hammer Ali Shub Lartzak Wal Mudatuk Way Thiba Amak Qathnati Makal Hach Sudyam Wamkul Humt Asher Ashit At Abdak Ki Bamqli Abrati At Hirdan Haza Wata Hiyati Leshni Mechnut Hatsilani Na Mead Achi Mead Ashu Ki Yura and Ki Atu Pun Ibwa Wakani Am Al Benim Wata Amrt Hethib Athib Amak Washmati At Srak Ketchul Him Asher La Yasper Merb Whelan Shem Balila Hahwa Wikach Manhaba Bidu Mencha Lashu Achu Azim Matim Watishim Ashrim Rahlim Matim Walim Ashrim Gamlim Minikut Wabniham Shulshim Perut Arbaim Wapurim Ashra Atnat Ashrim Wayurm Ashram Witan Bede Abdu Adur Labdu We Amr El Abdu Abru Lepni Ruch Tashimu Bait Adar Wabin Adar Witsu At Rashun Lummer Ki Yip Bishuk Ashu Achi Washalak Lummer Lami Ata One Tulk Mulmi Al Labnik Wamrut Labduk Li Akam Mancha Hua Shalut Cha Ladni Lashu Wahna Dum Hua Ach Rinu Witsu Gum At Hashni Gum At Hash Lishi Gum At Kol Lakim Achri Hadrim Lammer Kedbur Heza Ted Brun al ashu bum sakum atu wam rtum bum hna abdak yakub ajrinu ki amr akpra penyu bem nacha lakat rabni wachri gan ar penyu awli yasha pani wat abr hem nacha al penyu wahwa lan belila hahwa bamchana wikam belila huwa wikach at shati nashu wat shati shap chityu wat achad asher yoldu we aber at maber yibk we chum we abram at henchel we aber at asherlu we wuter yakum labdu we abak aish amuad alut hashchur wira ki la yakol lu we ga bakaf yurku what ka kef yurk yakub pah abqu amu we amr shulchani ki Allah hashchur we amr la ashlachuk ki burktani we amr aliu mahshimuk we amr yaqub we amr la yaqub yamr aud shimak ki yashral ki shrit alhim wam anshim watukol we shall yaqub we amr hagida na shimak we amr lamah zah tashal lashmi we brk atu shum wikra yaqub shum hamkum pnyal ki reiti alhim panim al panim what nutzel wapshi nupshi we zrah lu hashmash kasher aber at penwal wah tzla al yurku alkan la yaklu bani yishral at gid hansha asher al kef hiruk ad hiyum hasa ki naga bakaf Yerk, Yakum, Bugid, Hensha. So I could make the pronunciation rougher in places. All the youths is y, and all the wows is w, but I'm still following the sound scheme. But when you don't say it alphabetically, it seems to have more of a sensual and psychedelic sort of colored sort of effect. Those sorts of things seem to be more common with that.